All right. Thank you for checking out Akuno Family Vids. We are back with another edition with K and T. I'm K. This is T.
Should we start putting that as the name?
We can. You know, we're growing and trying to reach 100 subscribers. So you subscribe. Anybody who's listening to this by the end of the week, check it out. Give us your feedback. Let us know what you think. And today we are following up. We're doing a series on Ultron, right? And we did 2 videos about different iterations of Ultron. Now we're going to do Ultron in comparison and against Nimrod, who is one of my favorite kind of Marvel characters. And then we're going to do him working with Nimrod and why they might work together. Then we're going to do Ultron versus the Sentinels, and Nimrod is a Sentinel, so that will be an extension. He's just one version of the Sentinels. And then it's Ultron and Eggman. Right? Ultron and Eggman.
Slash Metal Sonic slash Sage slash basically.
Like Metal Sonic. So we're doing a little series. So follow the series and let us know what you think. But this one, we are beginning to introduce particularly a younger generation. Like your generation really don't know that much about Nimrod. I mean, I think folks who've been following like the Powers of X, the House of X,
That's a comic book series?
Yeah, it's a comic book series they've been doing like the last 10 years. Oh. So Krakoa, that whole version, Nimrod was central in ending that whole saga. But this, for those of you who don't know, this is the original skin or the original model version of Nimrod. Let me try to move it so the light doesn't, glare too much. But this is a product that Hasbro just released. I think we just got these about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, from a pre-order that was done last year in 2025. And Nimrod is a character that was first created by Chris Claremont and his long and glorious run on the Uncanny X-Men. For those of you who don't know, it's really, it was his writing combined with a bunch of good artists. My favorite being John Bryan, doing that whole period that really took the X-Men from like a title that Marvel was really just about to throw away. It was during his era. He took over as a young kid, I think in his 20s, early 20s. He took over the writing as they were about to discontinue the X-Men run, and they started a whole new team. So, the Giant X-Men number 2, I do believe it was. That's when we get introduced to the new team, which was Storm, Wolverine, Colossus, Nightcrawler, Thunderbird. No, Beast was part of the old team. Beast was
in the originals?
Yeah. So the original X-Men, for those who don't know, like your generation, the original 5 X-Men were Marvel Girl, a.k.a. Jean Grey.
Phoenix.
A.k.a. the Phoenix, a.k.a. the Dark Phoenix. We can go on Madeline Pryor, all those different things, all those characters.
Cyclops.
And Cyclops, right? Who's the longest running leader of the X-Men, but not his only leader. Storm has had, runs at being a leader. But there's Cyclops. Then there was Iceman. Then there was Angel. And there was the Beast. Those are the 5 original X-Men, right? With Professor Xavier. Yeah, Professor X. So those are the 5. And they had a run, I think they had a run from issue 1 through 92 of the X-Men. So a couple of years, right? About almost a decade of them being the primary team. And like I said, they were going to cancel it. And then they introduced a new team in Giant X-Men number 2. And, that's when they brought in Storm, Colossus, Wolverine, Thunderbird, I just said most of the names. Nightcrawler. So mostly your second staple of like the classics that was introduced there. And then people like Rogue, Kitty Pryde, aka Shadowcat, who are some of the other players that come in later?
I think
The next year. It's a run of it, but
Jubilee.
Jubilee comes in later. So that whole characters, Cable, Jubilee, Bishop, they all come in the 90s. Gambit, they all come in the 90s. But the new team that started in the
Rogue?
70s, Rogue came in the 80s. So Rogue initially, was one of the folks who fought against Miss Marvel. That's who she stole Miss Marvel's powers from. That's how
that's how she
got her
flies?
power. That's how she flies. She stole Miss Marvel's powers. Miss Marvel got her powers basically from an experiment that was done on her by the Kree. And that's why they kind of mixed and matched a whole bunch of stuff. So they kept her connection to the Kree in the movie, Captain Marvel. They kept that connection, but they altered it. So they made her be powered by, what was it, the Space Stone, I think is what she got powered from, right? And they kind of, but then she has a run in the X-Men where she became binary, was even more powerful, really, than Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel when she became Captain Marvel.
Now it's time to introduce our second character, Ultron.
Y'all know Ultron. We've been talking about him. So if you want to know more, check out our 2 previous videos on Ultron.
Which is the comic book / MCU, and then the second one is Infinity Ultron.
From the Rivals game, which we also included.
It's not the Rivals game, it's the What If series, this one.
Or what If and the Rivals. Marvel's TV What If. Borrowing from the long-running What If comic book line, which is great and glorious. But
now,
you like Ultron, what we talked about. I like Nimrod. I think on any given day, I think Nimrod beats Ultron.
why would you say that?
Oh, Nimrod is dope, man. He's from the future, like way from the future, who comes back in time.
To kill the X-Men.
Is
he from a future where the X-Men are already dead, or?
He comes from a future where all mutants were almost exterminated. And so he comes in to kind of, there was a loop, another time travel thing, that there was a loop that somebody then came, if I remember correctly, then came and challenged him. So in order to kill the X-Men and eliminate that possibility of one of them coming to
Nimrod
the future,
came back
to the past to try to eliminate them and then eliminate that threat in their universe. But depending on who's writing and how they view time travel, either he created a branch universe, or sometimes they create branches, sometimes they don't. Really depends on the writer.
Now here's the thing that I think scales Ultron, at least on his level or above his level. Ultron is able to beat most mutants depending on who's writing it. If you've seen,
well, let's take it out who's writing it. Their straight up powers is what I'm talking about, and their skills.
Yeah, I think Ultron definitely scales higher.
No, man. See, this is
the reason.
Give me your reason.
The reason I think this is because, for one, Ultron would scale above characters, above mutants such as Cyclops, not the Phoenix. No. Depends on which version. But above Magneto.
No, man. No. Not even close.
Yes, because I've seen, there are versions of Ultron that actually have beaten or even killed Magneto.
Bad writing.
That's what you
But keep
always
on. It's true. Magneto, right? Given that he's metal,
yes,
Magneto could just be like, if he really wanted to in his power, just be like, look, and just crush the dude from within.
And then
it's over.
Then there's a scene from Marvel Rivals with where Magneto says, "Why can't I crush you?" And then Ultron is like, "I built some metal titanium alloy, which you can't affect me, which makes it so you can't affect me."
No, bro. No. Bad writing. There is no metal that he cannot manipulate. Even some.
So he can do it to Nimrod
form.
too. Basically, is what you're saying.
He has done it to an earlier version of Nimrod, but the thing about Nimrod, he learned in a far more, kind of adaptive way. and a
So does
more
Ultron.
microscopic layer, more so than Ultron. So remember, Ultron is limited by the advances of technology in the 20th and now 21st century.
But remember,
Him coming from another century, right, in the future, he has all of those advances plus some.
But remember, what doesn't kill me just makes me stronger. I've been waiting to make that reference.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. So I think on a head-to-head, Nimrod would just ultimately
in close combat
destroy Ultron. Yeah, I think.
No, because like,
see,
how
another
do you
thing,
scale close combat
Nimrod
with
has
robots?
adaptive powers. So it's like the way he's programmed and the nature of his kind of composition, he can kind of mimic powers of the X-Men and mimic the powers of his enemies or his opponents. Ultron just basically has either his own powers, right, or in that version the powers of Infinity Stones.
But then, if we bring other forms of Ultron onto the table, then it's different.
Well, the only version I think of Ultron that would just utterly destroy Nimrod and the Sentinels is this version, which is the
Infinity Ultron?
The Infinity Ultron.
No, because
Extron.
Extron can also do that.
Who is Extron?
Extron is a version of Ultron that basically absorbs Cerebro.
I have to look.
Tell
me more
it's
about
something
that.
from Marvel Rivals.
He absorbs. That means
he gets his hands on Cerebro, and then I think he fuses with it. He fuses he puts his code into Cerebro.
But if you don't have your own telepathic powers, Cerebro, you still have to have a telepath to be able to use that. Ultron is not a telepath.
Yeah, I don't know how he did that then.
See, it's called what?
Bad writing.
Bad writing.
That one I agree with you with. That's kind of a loophole. I haven't fully gone through.
Yeah, I mean, if they're not manipulated the mind.
So maybe he got someone else.
Professor X or Jean Grey or Emma Frost or Apocalypse folks who have
Magneto.
Magneto's not a telepath.
I mean, I've seen him use Cerebro before.
In the video game?
No, like in a comic book.
The only version, and again, I haven't read a lot. There's big gaps in my reading, but my generation particularly, I read in and everything from the late 70s to the early, to the mid 1980s, when I was like literally your age. I read all that stuff and bought all that stuff. And he'd never used anything.
Anyway.
Now, they did create a version of him that him and Professor X merged.
Yeah.
And they became a character called Onslaught. And
I heard about that guy.
Yeah, Onslaught was a beast. I heard about him in the 90s when they did it. I didn't read many of those books, but going back, like that was an interesting combination. So he has all of Professor X's telepathic powers, combined with all of Magneto's powers over the electromagnetic, kind of scale. So he was a problem. Like he kind of rivaled, I would say, Apocalypse at his powers.
But Extron was actually like, before he was even turned into Extron, Ultron was by himself fighting Captain America, Cloak and Dagger, Emma Frost, Magik, Magneto, Wolverine,
Magneto. You said Emma Frost?
Yep.
Okay, those are
Wolverine was also there. What? Scarlet Witch was there. Scarlet Witch was there. Jeff was there. Loki was there.
Okay, that's a real.
Thor was also there.
Okay, those are peak foes, but Wolverine, if you go like the power scale of like say 5, 1 to 5.
Oh, Hulk was also there.
So if you go to like 1 to 5, right, of the characters you mentioned,
Rocket was there.
Rocket is probably a 1.
Yeah.
Wolverine is maybe a 2. Captain America is a 1. In terms of power, a 1.
Oh yeah.
In terms of power, he's a 1. Remember, Captain Marvel is just a superhuman on drugs, basically. That's a drugged up superhuman, but he's still a human. Wolverine is a mutant with, basically unbreakable bones.
Oh wait, no, that
and a
reminds
healing
me.
factor.
Doctor Doom from the year 2099 was also there, and it took him already being super strong and already stronger than almost everyone there at the Hellfire Gala. It took him and the combined power of the entire island of Krakoa just to kill Extron, or almost. I mean, no, he did kill Extron. He did, but it took all that power just to kill him.
Should be able to defeat this character. So Extron is not, he doesn't have the Infinity Stones, does he?
No. But when you scale Extron in terms of Marvel characters, he's up there with who? He's up there with that one he's up there with Doctor Doom.
But this is what I'm saying. So when me and you actually start finishing up, and we're going to be doing live actions. One of the reasons why I got started collecting all these toys, got to make the time to do it. But we're going to make our own live action comic books. So be on the lookout for that. As we have a team, illustrious team of writers, which includes myself. It would include T, which will include Iodele, a.k.a. Glenn, a.k.a. whatever they come up with next week. And then Saki, right? As a illustrious team, we're going to come up with both realistic stories that don't have all these plot holes and all this other kind of stuff. Io's in particularly will be very silly. So if you're into the silly, you can look out for that. But we're going to start using all these figures to make our own comic books.
Fourth wall break. She's right there.
Yeah.
They're right there.
So be on the lookout for that in the days, weeks, and months and years ahead. But anyway, my point being, getting back to our subject, and we only got a few more minutes before we need to cut off. Point being, Doctor Doom versus that character. The first thing
It's Doctor Doom 2099, so it's him in the future with more technology and more
advances. Probably more mastery of knowledge. If it's not just a child of Doctor Doom, but actually
it's not. It's actually him.
So he's extending his life. So that dude would be really powerful and dangerous. So the first thing
Extron was stronger than him. Remember that?
That part is bad writing, dude.
Yeah.
That's just bad writing. So the first thing he would do. So Extron only has, his regular powers or his extended powers, right? And then
he has
the ability to have Cerebro. Doctor Doom typically is totally immune to psychic penetration, right? And has cloaks and magic shield plus his own will. He's just a willful person.
I have seen Doctor Doom's feats in a scaling video. It's insane.
And so, the first thing probably Doctor Doom would just end that contest. He would probably just send that dude to a pocket dimension and leave him there. Because Ultron doesn't have the kind of knowledge. He might be able to acquire the knowledge. Let me correct myself. Because he is an adaptive, supercomputer or AI.
Then there's that one movie version of Ultron where Ultron basically killed everyone. He killed Magneto. He killed Captain America. He killed all the Avengers. He killed all the X-Men.
That's all.
He literally killed all the X-Men too.
That's bad writing. We'll come to that. Anyway, we have to close this out. Hopefully, you liked our little bit of comparison. We'll get into that more, when we talk about them collaborating, what might happen, Nimrod and Ultron. But, check that out in our next video. And we want to encourage everybody to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We have the goal of getting to more than 100 subscribers. So y'all help us out by doing those 3 things: like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Spread the word and send us your feedback. Right? Who do you think would win between Ultron and Nimrod?
Or Nimrod.
Who do you think would win and why? And just give us your feedback on our take our disagreement. Do you agree with our assessment that most of the stuff is about bad writing in some of these stuff, and what could be better writing? What are some ideas? So yeah, check us out. Like, share, subscribe. Leave us feedback in the comments.
Can
We'll
I make
catch you
my
later.
first canon appearance?
Yeah, sure. Come over.
No, not on camera. I'm gonna be like that one guy who's always in the corner and it's just like an animated silhouette.
We're still recording, so this is
I
a
know,
fourth
I'm very
wall.
aware.
This is a fourth wall break.
It's like the argument of how the water benders from Avatar are like the most popular, are the most powerful like benders out of all of them. Because when you really think about it, humans are like 80% water, right? What's stopping them from simply just sucking the water and liquid out of everything?
They've done it before.
Oh, well then I'm completely useless here.
Anyways, when are we gonna do our first video together?
I don't know.
You have to think of
When I
something.
learn to animate.
What do you mean when you learn to animate? We can do videos with like reaction or toys or Legos.
I literally just said I'm gonna be the one character who's like just an animated silhouette.
So
no
you're
one
gonna-
ever knows what I look like.
You wanna do like
I
drawing
simply
videos?
exist. I'll show you what I mean.
What do you mean I'll show you what you mean?
Don't worry
What you
about it.
mean?
Don't worry about it. You'll see. You'll see. Soon, eventually.
All right.
I'm gonna force them into a gaming video.
To be
What?
continued.
Huh?
To be continued. Check us out later.
Yeah.
Peace.